Hi guys, how's it going? It is a beautiful morning out. Can you see the fog? Look at it. Like, it's not enough to where you can't see very far, but enough to make it seem magical and mystical. If we go around the corner here, like, yeah, you kind of have a hard time seeing out to the cut flower garden. Foggy mornings for us are fairly rare, so I just soak them up. We're actually going to be doing a project in the studio. That is where I'm heading. We're going to put together a couple of tabletop gardens, just very simple centerpieces. In fact, I've done it before in a video, I think, a couple of years ago in the exact basket that we're going to be using today. It's just such a fun thing. And you know, my mom and I just went to a garden center. We showed you our trip like a couple of days ago, and I picked up a box full of plants, and that's what I'm going to be using. In fact, one of the gardens I'm going to put together for her. She was looking at those apricot colored begonias, and she didn't get any for herself, but I got 3 of them, thinking the whole time like, oh, I could put together a little something and just sneak it out to her house and surprise her. So anyway, one is going to be for here, one will be for out at my parents' house. Oh, hey bud. See, here's the table that we picked up too. Isn't that pretty? I haven't done anything with it yet in terms of like Danish oil or, you know, shining it up at all, but I think that's going to be so perfect for the cut flower shed. Oh, that is just lovely, bud. Love the crown. Okay, things are a little bit of a mess in here, which is kind of what the purpose of this whole space is. But let me just show you some of the things I've got here. So we've got the Norfolk Pines. I've got one in this size here, 6-inch, and then I have 2 4-inch size. I've got 2 spider plants. This is the basket we're gonna be using. In fact, maybe I should clean it a little bit. A little dusty. It's been a while. And then we've got a beautiful white cyclamen here. And then I've got a couple of different options here. I've got these birch candlesticks with just a little tea lights that I could tuck into the basket. I've also got this. I just recently saw, and I can't find it again. Somebody on Instagram was putting together something similar to this, and they used a deer. And it was just so like woodland and really pretty. And then there are some fairy lights. And then these are the other plants here. So we've got white begonias, the apricot ones from my mom's. I thought we'd just put her together something small and sweet. In fact, we should go locate a container for it. Okie dokie. We have not done any organizing over here yet. That's one of our wintertime projects in here, but we'll find something good. I'm thinking, like, Mom always does some pretty intense holiday like centerpieces, so I don't want to do anything too big because I don't want it to take up any space where she's already got plans. Maybe something like that gray one. I think I just need to root around a little bit. Hang on. Maybe this? What do you think of this? Good. That's a sleigh. Like Santa's sleigh, bud. Okay, this might be a swing and a miss, but I think I'm gonna try it. I think it's going to be a situation where I just need to start planting it and see how it comes together. In this one, because it's smaller, I think I would actually take the plants out of the pots and plant them in there. In the basket, we're going to be lining it with a garbage sack first, and then I've got a bunch of really pretty moss to tuck in around all the plastic pots. So there's our garbage sack, and then the mosses that I have, a few different kinds. This is just the straight up sheet moss. Got one in here called forest moss, I think. Yeah. This one's called forest moss, which is kind of the same color, but it seems like it's a little bit more ferny, less matte-esque. I don't know. And then I've got royal pool moss right here, which are like these big chunks. Always really handy to have. Okay, so let's just start in on the big basket first. This basket is roughly 6 inches deep or so, which is kind of perfect. None of my plants, like this is the tallest pot, and because I'm just going to be putting the pots right in the basket like this and covering with moss, we won't see any of the containers or the saucers or anything like that. And the other beautiful part about it, it was an inexpensive basket. I picked it up at an antique store. I can't even remember how much I paid for it, but probably like $10 or $15 for a really heavy, sturdy basket. I've used this a lot throughout the years. That's a really good investment, really. And it's got nice handles, which I think I'm gonna put this either on our kitchen island or on that little green table I use out in the front sun porch quite often. Both spaces I utilize a lot though, so it's nice to be able to pick it up and move it when I need to, as opposed to I used to do big elaborate centerpieces that could never be moved. And that was a huge pain because you had to work around them. Otherwise you'd have to dismantle the whole thing. So I'm gonna clean this basket first because I don't know that I ever have. I'm just gonna kind of spray it down and wipe it down just on the outside as good as I can. But I just didn't even realize until I got it in under the lights in here are so much brighter. Didn't realize until I got it in here how dirty it is. My word. Did you know, Aaron, that these towels right here that are now rags in our garage were given to us as a wedding gift?
Serious?
Yeah, over 15 years ago. Still going strong, still getting use out of them. Okay, that does look a little bit better. Shines it up a tad. And you know, as I was looking at it, the weave on this basket is quite wide. So if I was to line this with a garbage sack, I think you would see it. So I think what I'm gonna do is put moss on the inside here and then just start placing my plants. There's really gonna be no need for a plastic liner because I'm gonna be using saucers under all my pots. So unless you don't, if you want to skip that step, definitely line your container because that will protect the surface you're putting it on. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with some moss. I'm just gonna use pieces of sheet moss for this. So they usually come off in kind of irregular size pieces like that. And I'm just gonna push it right up against the edge there so that if you do get a glimpse through the side of the basket, you'll be seeing something pretty as opposed to something black and plastic. That wouldn't look so nice. All of this moss is reusable too. So, I mean, we're gonna use a bunch of moss in this, and while you might think, oh my goodness, I don't wanna pay for that much moss in a project like that, it's all stuff that you can use later on. We'll just take it right out of here because all the water will be contained in the pots and in the saucers. We won't be touching it with water. It'll be completely, like, pretty untouched really in the end. So step number 1 is done. The next step is just to place your plants inside the container, which is really easy and it's fun. And this process can take as long as you want it to take. You can fuss with it. You can try out different arrangements with your plants, which is so fun because there's a lot of flexibility with this type of project. I might even build this one up. See, I've got this smaller one here. I might build this up with a little bit more moss. Oh. Isn't this a gorgeous cyclamen? I am the worst at keeping cyclamen looking really nice inside, but I keep trying. I'm gonna put kind of a larger piece of the moss down at the bottom here as a riser for my spider plant here. I have no idea how this is looking. I'm gonna need to come around the front here in a minute. It looks good from the back. In fact, let me just spin it because I wanna show you how I'm gonna put this other one in. I need to go get a little saucer for this one though. This has to look good from all sides because if it does go on our island, we go all the way around it. So it's gotta be pretty. Okay, so let me show you. It's kind of what the back side is looking like. I'm gonna get another piece of moss to tuck down in. Okay, so this one's gonna go in between the big pine and the cyclamen, right in there. And then we'll tuck our spider plant down in like that. Oh, I love all the wintry color, the green and the white. So pretty. Honestly, at this point, I mean, from the front, if I fluffed my plants out just a little bit more, it looks done. I think it's so pretty and sweet and so easy. But I do think I'm going to tuck in the candles because I think that'll be a nice kind of bright spot in this, especially in the evening. I think I'm gonna skip the deer step though, because I think Benjamin took off with my deer and my sleigh that I just brought out here. So anyway, we will work on this quick, but I do think, I'm not sure, I might have to, I'm gonna have to create a platform, which for something with a candle, I want it to be more solid. So I'm gonna go get some terracotta saucers, turn those upside down and put a little stack right underneath where I want this taller candle so that I'm not worried about it being tippy. You could use plastic if you've got enough saucers, in a stack, then it's fairly sturdy, but I feel better about terracotta. I'll be right back. This will be a much more solid base. I'm going to twist this garden a bit though so I can kind of see what I'm doing. This needs to kind of come up this way. And then these are kind of dirty. Well, everything is dirty that I'm working with right now. But if I tuck these saucers right down here at the base of the garden, they're just sitting on the bottom of the basket. Then when I put my candle in there, I don't feel like it's gonna go anywhere. Kind of important when you're working with fire. I'm going to test using these bigger saucers. See if that will be better for both of these candlesticks. I made these when we lived in our old house, our old townhouse. So I took just a birch branch. See if I can get one of these out. Took a birch branch and then a spade bit, which was the same size. I can't remember if it was an inch or an inch and a half spade bit with my drill, and just drilled out a little hole at the top of this branch, enough to pop a tea light in there. And I have a whole collection of them. I just made a bunch of them that day, and I have been able to use them a lot throughout the years. So fun. Okay, that does fit. So I don't know if I can tip this and show you guys. Can you see those? Can you see those saucers in there? Yeah. So just tucked at the bottom. Okay, I might have to fuss with this a little bit, but I think it's essentially done, other than a little bit more moss around the tops of all the plants. So I'm just gonna tear off little bits of moss. I'm gonna go in and see, like around the top of this spider plant right here, I just wanna mask that pot. We know where the pot is for watering. It's got a saucer underneath it, so everything's good, but we don't wanna see the infrastructure of what we've got going on here. And then when we're all done with this being kind of a holiday centerpiece, we can take it apart and individually pot up the plants and have some new houseplants, which is really fun. And all of these, I'm looking over all of them, a bright indirect spot for light would be perfect, and the fact that they're still all potted in their original containers means you can water them how they like to be watered. So like in my case, I'll probably water these all once a week. That's typically what our houseplants want, possibly a little bit more with the Cyclamen, but I can control that because they're individually potted. So you could leave it at this right here. I'm gonna try to tuck this white Cyclamen on this side. So I think it would look really pretty to have some more white in there. I don't know if it's gonna fit though. Yeah, that didn't work out so well. I think what it is that this right here looks unforced. It looks very easy. All the plants fit in this basket beautifully and nothing's really smushed against each other. If I tried to fit something else, I mean, it would be beautiful color-wise, but it's just too much of a tight squeeze, and I don't really want this project to be that, if that makes sense. It already looks very full, it looks very beautiful, and I'm really, really happy with it. So like I said, like check this out. You can just pick it up and move it out of your way if you need to. And then every single part of this is reusable. You can repot the houseplants later, or you can keep it like this, because I feel like, you know, using the white and the greens and things is pretty much all year round. You can keep something like this together, or it looks really good through Christmas and in January. And then typically, like, I'll start adding more color and things back in. So anyway, super happy with this. So I'm gonna move on now to the project for my mom. I want it to be fairly simple. I don't know if I'm gonna need all 3 of these begonias, but aren't they beautiful? So this is called Nicole Stone Rieger Begonia right here. Gorgeous color, and of course another Norfolk Pine. And then this Cyclamen, I don't know if there's like a specific name for it. Nope, no tag. It's a white Cyclamen. The sleigh is gone. I think that went with Benjamin, but I do think I'm gonna put this just in a really pretty, simple pot of some kind. I don't know what kind. All right, guys. I found the perfect container. So not only is this a beautiful iron urn, but it actually originated in my parents' garden. When Aaron and I were first married, my mom went through, organized some of her things, and gave me a few of her pots because she wanted me to have some pretty things at my home. But things like this are timeless. Like these, I have used this container so many times throughout the years. So I thought it would be really sweet to clean it up, pot it with some beautiful things, and sneak it back out there. So we're gonna clean it first. Where's my towel? There it is. Okay, the first thing I'm gonna do, this urn has quite a large drain hole in the bottom, so soil will want to go through it really quickly. So I'm actually just gonna cut a piece of this towel off and use it at the bottom. You can use a coffee filter or like a double-upped paper towel. Little pieces of cloth like this work really well though, because they'll allow water to still, you know, exit, but then it'll keep all the soil up here. So for these plants, I'm just using the standard organic potting mix here. These plants don't need any specific type of soil mix, so the regular potting mix works really nicely. I'm so excited about this. I think she's gonna love it. Okay, I'm gonna take a little bit of the soil off the root ball. They're not heavily rooted so far. Anyway. Okay, next. Do I want to try to put anything else? Maybe the pine right in the center. That might be pretty. Okay, so if you kind of take a look here, you can see that there are 2 plants in this container. So in order to spread them evenly around this pine, I'm popping them apart like that. They're not heavily rooted together, so they should be just fine. Makes it much easier to tuck things in. I want to work that white cyclamen in. Okay. Okay, hang on. I'm going to take this apart and do it again. Not loving it. I think I want to use a little bit more white. So I've got this Clara Begonia. We're going to try this out. I was worried with the size of the pot that that root ball might be a little bit bigger, but it's really not. Yeah, not at all. Look at that. Oh, that's pretty. Yeah, I'm loving that. Much better. Well, we got lucky that none of these were really rooted in that heavily. Makes it way easier to pot them up. So now for the finishing touch, I'm going to tuck a little bit of sheet moss just around the perimeter of the container to cover the soil. It always makes it look like put together and tidy. So just lift the leaves up and just gently tuck it into the edge. Like that. And there we go, all done. You can see all the way around. Back is a little bit more simple, just with kind of, you can see the white begonia and then the apricot colored begonia and the pine, and then the front has the cyclamen in it, right there. Oh, that is so pretty. I want to keep it now. I want to keep it. Dang it. All right, now I'm going to line both of these up so you can see both of these arrangements very different. Both very, very easy. I mean, this is just potted traditionally. And then this one, all of the plants are still in their plastic containers, both just really beautiful. I love them so much. So we're gonna run this out to my parents' house. They're both at work today, and I'm just gonna put it on their kitchen counter, and I'll just wait to hear from my mom. Real quick before we go, I was trying to think, I can't just put this pot on her counter with no saucer under it. So I think what I'm gonna do is set the pot down in here because I don't have a square saucer on hand that would look good with this. So I'm gonna put it in here and then just surround it with these pine cones from our blue spruce tree. I think that'll look really cute. Right, you are coming with me. Not one-handed though, barely. My goodness. Hey, we're on our way. Isn't all that color and texture so pretty? Oh, my dad's truck is there. I wonder if Dad's working on the Christmas lights today. Maybe. I wonder if he's home or if my mom's home too.
It's Monday.
Oh, it is Monday. Oh, it's Monday. Monday is their day off. Oh, but my mom's car isn't here. Perfect. So we can still surprise my mom. Oh, for crying out loud. Oh my word. Do you see what's going on the basketball court over there? Does that make you feel excited, Aaron? I think I'm gonna go scope out the situation first. I made something for Mom. I totally forgot it's Monday and it's your day off. It's perfect. My mom just ran to the store for some stuff. So we can get this all set up and head back home. All right, there it is. I think it looks really pretty. And I think it'll do really well too. There's a window right here, so there is some natural light that comes in here, but I really love it. I think she'll like it. It also looks good from all different directions since we go all the way around. And you can see Mom's been working on the chandeliers we picked up on the same trip we picked up these plants. She's been cleaning them, shining them up. Those are gonna be so pretty out in the potting shed. And there's the Evelyn Rose. Dad picked that this morning. All right, we're gonna head back home and I will place my centerpiece. Oh, you guys, I love it on the coffee table here. I think it looks so pretty with the candles lit. It's going to be something we're going to have to keep a very close eye on when Samantha's out and about. We won't have the candles lit, of course, when she's pulling herself up and checking out this arrangement. One of the things you have to think about until they get a little bit older, but I absolutely think it's beautiful right here. I like the basket texture. I kind of worked in some things around it. So there's a few books, some dried roses for a pop of color, and a couple books, a crown, you know, some things. Anyway, that is it for today's project. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing something just very simple. You know, they look so beautiful. I just love how this turned out. It looks so fresh and full, and just it looks so pretty, and it's just so easy to put together. There's no extra potting soil involved. There's no special pots. I mean, this is a basket I was using to harvest vegetables with. It was all dirty. You know, just clean up some of the stuff you already have. You could use houseplants you already have, just group them together differently for a fresh look. You can use any kind of pillars, or if you don't want to have the flame thing, you can use a little battery pack of fairy lights and just twist them around one of your houseplants. Just a super easy, fun thing to do. And I love the way it turned out here. Now, I haven't heard back from my mom yet. I've been watching my phone because I know she'll call me as soon as she sees the arrangement we dropped off out there. And that one was fun as well. Just a little bit of a different take in that one was actually potted in that container, and she can keep that one, you know, potted like that if she wants, or she can take it apart and use those plants differently. We're always kind of in a constant, like, everything's evolving all the time, and we like things to look fresh. So we don't keep things, you know, potted the same way typically for too awful long. It just keeps it fun for us. We enjoy it. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really do hope you enjoy it. Hope you're having a great day, and we will see you in the next one. Bye. P.S. I think I'm going to get some battery operated tea lights. What do you think? Good. Yeah, that way we're not, uh-oh.
Well, my gosh, I go to the grocery store and I come home to the most beautiful arrangement.
Do you like it?
I love it. I just love it.
Does that pot
you know
look?
I do.
You know that pot look? Does it look familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah. You gave that to me when Aaron and I were first married, out of your potting shed.
I did?
Yeah.
I love this little tray with the pine cones. It's gorgeous.
That's its saucer, because I didn't have a saucer that was proper. So.
Oh, I absolutely love it.